Hi everybody, Dr. Qazi over here at Qazi Cosmetic Center in Newport Beach. I'm going to showcase this result over here. We'll wait a few more moments for more people to come on. But for those who don't know, I do a lot with anti-aging. I do a lot with acne scars. I do a lot with pigmentation. This is my nightly show. We go over a case usually or just answer questions. This is a new result. I haven't posted this one yet, but I give you guys sometimes a sneak preview so you can take a look and see this particular patient for his results. It's a patient of Asian descent, so I'll go through it really well tonight, and I'll kind of go through it and break down what we did for the patient. I'm going to try to lower the photo just a little bit so you can see it a little bit better and kind of showcase also what kinds of scars these are, hopefully a little bit clearer for you guys. So take a look and see. This was from May until September of this year. So you can see, look at that, really nice improvement for his scars. Really tough case also because, he's a patient with thick skin. He still had some oil production as well. And his skin type, he's of Asian descent. So we have to be really careful with his skin to make sure that we can do it as safe as possible. So take a look and see, this is what we did for this patient. And you can see this is a single session for him at this point. And of course, we'll continue to follow along with his treatment journey. When he came in this time, we ended up doing more TCA cross, and then we also did some Bellafull for him. But you can see already there's a lot of improvement over here for his skin. So I want to showcase that for you guys because I know there's always so many questions and so many things about what kind of results can you expect, things like that after a single session. And so this is kind of hopefully showcasing that for you guys with somebody with a really nice collagen response already. Now, his scars a lot of these are ice pick scars too. There's rolling scars, but ice pick scars. Ice pick scars are what you can still see right here. A lot of his rolling scars are significantly improved. So it's just a matter of really doing a few different things at the same time to really maximize results sometimes. So take a look and see. That's what we did for this particular patient. We did talar liberator subcision, we did blunt cannula subcision, we did ablative CO2 laser at the edges of the scar, we did TCA cross, and through the laser channel holes, we put a lot of collagen stimulating products. So that worked out really well for him too. Happy saying I have very similar scars. I have olive skin tone. What treatment is good for me? Well, this is what we ended up doing for this patient was for these little ice pick scars, we did TCA cross, and then we also did ablative CO2 at the edges of the scar. We did fractional CO2, fractional erbium laser, and then we did a subcision as well. Hi, Joey. How's it going? This is a patient that we're showcasing over here. Is a patient of Asian descent. You can see significant improvement already just after a single session and just after a few months. It'll continue to get going. Does tretinoin 0.1% or 0.1% to help with these scars? A little bit. I don't think it's going to help enough, but it'll help a little bit there. Coco's asking, is this just one session? Yeah, this is a single session result at this point. You can see what to kind of expect for these particular kinds of scars. So I like showing you guys, again, progress, what's happening with people, and kind of what to expect right here. Yellow saying, I know it's only been a week, but I love what I'm seeing so far. Awesome, Yellow. Really great having you in the other day. Really appreciate you. Yellow came all the way over from New York City. I had a patient today also who flew in as well. So it's like a lot of people from all across the country doing treatments. And so, like this patient today came in from Dallas, and she ended up going to, I think it was a dermatologist actually who did excisions. And, I've now it's actually been a couple different people over there. But from Texas, actually, there's some people over there that are doing excisions and they're causing the scar to heal poorly because of where they're doing the excisions. They're doing it along the nasolabial fold. And you guys have known, I've talked to you guys about this before, where if you do excisions along the nasolabial fold, it's not as predictable. And I see this happen a lot of times. Interestingly enough, a lot of my patients from Texas, it happens like that. So interestingly enough. So, be careful when you're doing excisions and make sure it's something that like it's going to be the right person to do excisions with. Hi, Jose. How's it going? Thank you so much for coming on. Sunset is saying, my scars look like this, but I can't afford treatment yet. Would you recommend doing anything to prepare for this months prior to treatment? Well, get your acne under control. If you want to do something to prepare yourself really well, get your acne really well controlled before coming to me. And then we can be able to help out with your scars really well. So do that first. That's always the best way. Bo Kimmy is asking, is this one session? Yes, this is a single session combination result. He did the first session back in May, and now he did the second session when he came in this day in September. And I believe he's from NorCal, if I remember correctly. I believe he's from there. Esther's saying, me too. Swelling is almost gone. Loving my results. Awesome, Esther. I followed up with so many patients today, more than 10 patients today. I did follow-ups, virtual, in person. Everyone was really, 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 really happy with the results already, just 1 month out. And I always tell people it's going to get better. It's going to get softer. It's going to get looking better. We have somebody who's came on board right now who, I actually showed his results. If he wants to say hi, he can say hi, but I showed his results earlier today on our page, and you can see his whole process there. You could look at our treatment. Actually, he's a very, very nice gentleman, also from Texas. I believe Austin, if I'm correct. I forgot. No, you're actually. I forgot, actually, somewhere in Texas. I forgot the city. But he lets us share his results, and you can see his whole treatment process over there. And so we showed that today. Take a look and see that process. You can see just to kind of what to expect. And part of the reason why we get results the fast as the way we do it is because I really focus a lot on burns. I talked to you guys about this before, that I've done a lot with burns. I've done, that a lot of my training was with burns. Also, post residency, I did a lot with burns. And so I really do try to optimize burns and the recovery process. And that's partly why we get these results too, because I could do this in all skin types. I could help you after we do our CO2 laser to recover really quickly. You can see how quickly that patient we showed today, how quickly he recovered. Appreciate you, Jorge. Really appreciate you. Jose is saying, what is better and more recommended for long-term safety, hyaluronic acid or Botox? Well, they're two separate different things. Hyaluronic acid or HA filler really is going to draw in water. It's going to give you some support and structure for the bone, for example, if you want to do that. If you're doing it for scars, it's okay. It's going to draw in water and sort of into the scars, help lift it up. But it's really different than what Botox is used for. Botox is really for the movement of muscle. So a lot of times if a scar is, for example, in between the brows, I'll tell patients really make sure you're doing Botox or some sort of neuromodulator, what we call neurotoxin, something like Dysport, Xeomin, Botox. You want to do that regularly to prevent the tension of the scar so it could heal really, really well. So you do that over the course of a year. It works really well. Two different aspects of it. So we want to draw in water to lift up a scar. That's going to be a hyaluronic acid filler. What I use is Bellathil. It doesn't draw in water, but it helps support the scar tissue. Radiesse, Sculptra, those are collagen stimulating products. And then Botox is for muscle movement. So think of it really, if your scar is really in areas where you're moving and you're able to freeze it, like the crow's feet or frown, it works really well. But my patient today, she came in from Dallas. She had a bad scar along her, exactly at her nasolabial fold. Now we're not going to be able to knock that out, really. We can't do that. We can't just freeze her muscle there. Of course she has to smile. Of course she has to animate. So we can't do that way. We have to do other tricks really to prove that. Cherbigo is saying, after Accure laser and BBL, what's the next step? I'll follow up with you about 3 months later, and then we could take a look and see is tackling your scars or your pigmentation. Sunset is saying, how much did this session cost? I don't know offhand exactly for this particular patient, but I would say pretty much all acne scar sessions that are basically this kind of with this much complexity are a range about $5,000 to $7,000. And then if you need more volume, you could take a little bit more. But future sessions for TCA cross for laser can be up to 55% off. So just to give you an idea, basically, I wanted to do that so it's not going to be excessively expensive for people, and also it holds me accountable to make sure that I could really just make this as beautiful result as possible under a single session. Let's see here. Can you please recommend a face wash for damaged skin barrier? AHA, BHA all break me out. So you definitely don't want to do that. Just use Cetaphil or CeraVe's Gentle Cleanser. Just stick with that. That works really well. Don't use excessive irritants or exfoliants. Yellow saying, I hope I wasn't a difficult patient. I know it can be. Not at all, Yellow. Not at all. It's really, really good having you. Really appreciated you. And it's like really nice that we have this rapport too. I really appreciate you. Sharing is caring, saying, would Accure laser work with dry, acne-prone skin? Well, it depends on what particularly is happening with it. Sometimes it's a dryness due to over exfoliation. We got to take a look at that. Is it really true dry? Is it sometimes that you do get oil production? For example, if you're a woman and during your menstrual period, you have more of a response with your oil production, and then that's actually something that happens just once or twice a week, but it does break you out. So it still will help with that process. So we could take a look and see what exactly is happening. We have changed our protocol over the course of several months from January till now. I've talked to almost everybody now that does the procedure, does the Accure laser. They don't talk about pain anymore. They don't talk about really any of these things. They just get it done. I see them on the way out. It's not red. It's not irritated. So there's really no downtime with it either. So it works really well for patients actually. And I just want to make sure that we could just continue to do it for patients just so we can make sure that acne is under control and you don't have new scarring. And then of course, when we work on your scars, we don't have to worry about future breakouts. That really, really is important for us. Sunset saying, thank you. You are a true talent. Appreciate you, Sunset. Really appreciate you. TRB Go is saying, can the patient do another session or is that our end results? Looks great. This is a male patient anyways. I know it's not obvious right here, but this is after a single session. He did come in again. We did TC across and Bella full the day he came in. So we'll continue to get better. Honestly, I told my patients today too, some of them that had great results already, that there is a way for, depending on your kinds of scars, at some point you may end up getting better skin than people without scars. It's gonna be really cool one day when that happens. You're gonna like really see the effect of lasers and see that actually your skin quality, the way you are, your face could actually look better than people without scars. Your friends that didn't have scars, things like that. Your skin is just gonna glow, and lasers could do that. Nothing else comes close to it. Nothing else does. Jose is saying, is it true that Botox can be applied behind the neck in certain specific areas to treat stress? Yes, it could be actually. We could do it for neck strain, for example. A lot of people are hunched over. We could actually relax that. We could also relax the traps muscles as well. So yeah, you're right. You could do that actually. We'll talk about that. We'll see if hopefully we can help you out with that. Miriam is saying, is it true you can get a scar of a cortisone shot isn't diluted properly? If a cortisone shot isn't diluted properly, yes, that's true. I do dilute it quite well. And I do tiny little droplets, usually nothing too much. How many sessions can you get within this time frame? Well, as long as the skin is healed, I probably could have done it sooner. I believe this patient's from out of state, if I remember correctly, or up north somewhere. So he couldn't come right away. But yes, we could do it like maybe about 3 months or so, depending on the aggression of the laser. Now, in this case, this is a patient of Asian descent. I usually do wait about 6 months, even a year before doing that again. So just typically. Do any topical creams help with acne scars? Well, you could use a topical retinoid like Tazorac could try to mildly help. It's not going to help so much with these kind of scars, but more mild scars it could potentially help with those. So that may be an idea for you. TRB Go is saying, I finished my 4 sessions of Accure and I'm seeing results. I break out less. I'm excited to see what my next steps are. Awesome, TRB Go. I look forward to it. Let's see about probably 2.5, 3 months later, then we could start you towards the scar process, and also just even if just like pigmentation, anything else. Let's touch base with you at some point about that. Happy saying, is CO2 laser good for olive skin? Really good question. I mean, I see most of our patients are Fitzpatrick 4 and above, so olive tone skin. This particular patient's of Asian descent. We have a lot of patients that are sensitive skin as well. So I do a lot with it. I would say it's safe with me, not potentially as safe with other people. There's a way I do the laser. I'm doing focus energy on the scar tissue, and I do a lighter blend elsewhere. It's very, very different than the way people traditionally do it. I've had people who say that when I was first starting out, they were telling me just to use maximum settings, and it's really inappropriate, and you look at the stuff that happens with them, and they do run into a lot of complications doing it that way. But there's ways of doing it where if you're focused and you pay attention to detail and you really want to work on each individual scar the way I do and really want to smooth it all down, you could get a really beautiful result. And I think that that's really the difference, really. It's just the amount of detail that I spend on each individual patient. It's just extraordinary, and I love it. It's actually fun for me to spend the time with on that. Sabi's saying, what helps with textured skin in general? Well, lasers are excellent with it. If you don't have access to the lasers, then you can start like a retinoid. If you can't get a prescription of that, start with a different cream. Different cream works well for that. Let's see here. Yellow saying a couple of the super shallow scars are completely gone. My skin tone looks really good. Awesome, Yellow. Really, really glad. That's one of the first things you're going to see. Jules is saying how to get acne under control. Well, it depends on how bad your cystic acne is. You usually want to be on something like a topical antibiotic. You potentially, if you're a woman, you need to be on something that's going to help with the hormonal surge of acne, something like spironolactone, certain birth control, especially if it's got estrogen and progesterone. That could potentially help. But you may need something a little bit more powerful. You may need isotretinoin, or potentially you could use the Accure laser. So the Accure laser works just like Accutane, but it's only localized for the face. And so you end up not having any other side effects, and it doesn't overly dry the skin. So that helps out a lot too. Tara saying, microneedling pen, have my esthetician license and not doctorate. Can I purchase one? I think it depends on your state for that one, the microneedling pen. Make sure you're using a lot of Glide as you're doing it. I've dealt with patients with post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation and new scarring due to the microneedling pen. So be really careful with that. So just be really good, especially with darker skin types. Would Accure work for someone with, I think I got that one here, that person was asking for a dry skin, but it could potentially, it depends on what exactly is happening with the acne and what kind of combination skin, so we could take a look and evaluate you. Canadian girl saying, so this patient will do some more treatments and get some better results. Yes, this is early result. This is after a single combination session at this point. We ended up doing more TCA cross, some Bellofull for him this day, and we'll continue. He's going to need several sessions of TCA cross. There's no question about it. We're going to have to keep on doing TCA cross for him. Let's see here. I know I missed a bunch of things here. How to treat the fact that every acne leaves a red scar that never leaves. You could try azelaic acid. Just try 10% azelaic acid. It may take several months, probably 3 to 6 months even, but you can see if that'll help you with that. Let's see here. I know I missed so many different things here. I have dry, normal skin, but I'm sensitive to all products, even when I avoid comogenic ingredients. Well, what kind of products are you trying to do? Honestly, really too many people use too many different products. They end up overly drying their skin just in general. Don't use any, like if you have sensitive skin, try to avoid exfoliants. Really try to avoid, try to do that. Don't use exfoliants as much as you could. Like a small amount of retinoid is okay, but in general, don't use like glycolic acid. Don't do AHA. Just try to keep it really simple for yourself. If you're going to do that, maybe do it once a week. But like people overly dry their skin. That's what ends up happening. What's Orozlo? My derm gave it to me after Accutane and said it was for scars. Yeah, that's going to help out. It's a topical retinoid. It does help a little bit more with scars. Depends on what kind of scars you have, but in general, you want to bridge yourself. Even after you do the Accure laser, even after you do Accutane, you want to bridge with some topical retinoid. So that's going to probably what ended up being the reason why you're placed on that. I know I missed a bunch of things here, but I'll try to hit these up. They're pretty precious. It's saying, do you feel CO2 laser resurfacing is good for acne scars and wrinkles? It could be. It depends on what kind of scars you have. For wrinkles, yeah, it's going to help out a lot with anti-aging for wrinkles. It just depends on what's going on with your skin in general and how thick your scars are. Let's see here. Joan is saying, can't you just fill the pits with hyaluronic acid filler? Really good question. So I typically, very rarely would I suggest doing HA filler for scars because it's a very temporary effect. Yes, it could help just for a little bit. If you have an event coming up, things like that, we could do it that way. But it's not going to really help with the structure of the scars. It's not going to stimulate collagen production for those. So it's not something I usually recommend. And then I will tell you, to be totally honest and totally frank, I deal with so much dissolving. I dissolve so much in the area and people fly in from all over the place to dissolve with me. And I see people when they have a scar in one spot, a millimeter away from the spot that they put the hyaluronic acid filler. So either the person injecting it missed it, possible, or probably more likely it could shift. HA filler does shift, especially the kinds that most people are using. Sometimes it's a little bit too thick. It draws in water, and then you're animating, you're smiling, you're talking, and it shifts with your face. And so now it's not where you were supposed to have it. And so that's another big problem, actually, in my mind, because you're supposedly supposed to help out with it, and then it ends up really potentially causing more problems because now it's sort of made it so that your face is a little bit more puffy than it should have been. That's why I tend to use more hyaluronic acid for maybe more structure type of things, like for like cheekbones, chin, that kind of thing, but not really for scars. For scars, I usually do collagen-based products, things like Sculptra, things like Radiesse, things like Bellafold. That's what I typically use. Thoughts on Rejuron and other Korean acne scar treatments? We currently don't have Rejuron. I've talked to the company to see if I could try to get it. I'm just waiting, at this point, see if I could try to be a place that I could use it over here. Since it's not FDA approved in this country, we are not supposed to be using it. But that being said, it does seem interesting. It seems like something that I'll be excited to eventually try. I've talked to a few people who've been trying it. They don't think that it tends to last as much as people thought it would. So there is that element. But maybe if it's something that's relatively not too expensive and you can keep it up, maybe it is not a bad idea for some people. Cherby Go is saying, can any of the treatments that you offer be done on a pregnant woman? You can do TCA cross probably. That'll probably be the only thing. But other than that, you wouldn't really want to do anything else. Let's see here. I know I missed a few of these things. How to treat the fact that every I think I mentioned that one. If you had HA filler and acne scars, can you still use Bellafold? It depends on how they placed it. That's what it depends on. Miriam saying, can I fly out to you if I see a new cystic breakout for a cortisone shot, emergency appointment? Sure, Miriam, you could. Yeah, I have people that do come in. They don't come in, fly in. They drive sometimes 2.5 hours, 3 hours away though. But if you, I'm right by the airport, so you could fly in and fly out if you need that emergency. Munchkin is saying, is there a product good for PIE and keloid scars? So two different things. Keloids, I would probably do silicone tape for the keloids, but PIE, azelaic acid works well. You could try doing that. Do it at nighttime, 10%. It helps. It'll be very slow. Let's see. Leslie's saying, if you're taking Accutane, how long should you wait until you can get acne scar procedures done? I could do it even while on Accutane. Just depends on what dose you are, how much you weigh, and I want to especially make sure that your oil is under control and your acne is under control. So that the real thing is that I need to make sure that you're no longer going to get the breakouts that you were getting before. So that's the bigger thing. It's not that we can't do these scar treatments while on Accutane. In fact, it's nice actually to sometimes have oil under control so that when we do these scar treatments, it's going to be fine. But it should be a really low dose, low dose of Accutane potentially, and it depends on how aggressive we're going to be going. Ambitious Skincare is saying, I tried Fotana laser, still haven't gotten results from my acne scars. Any advice? Well, it depends. What kind of scars do you have? That's the question you have. Skin Logic is saying, do you offer TCA cross training? Yes, I'm full this year though, but I'll try to do it next year. I'll try to open up some things next year for you guys to be able to do that. Right now, it's just really jam-packed right now. So at some point, try to circle back with us. We did get a bunch of messages, and we have kept them in our backlog to be able to do that. But we'll try to help you out with that. Joanne saying, oh wow, it shifts. She's referring to, I believe, the HA filler. So where does it go internally? I had under eye filler done before and dissolved on its own, but now I'm thinking it went somewhere else. Thank you for answering my question. Yes, sometimes it could actually, a lot of patients actually, people do it in the tear troughs and it goes in their cheeks actually. So we could take a look and see. If it's not bothering you, it's okay. You don't have to worry about it though. Dana saying, do you recommend Potenza for boxcar ice pick scars? No, definitely not. I would not recommend that at all. Joanne is saying, I would also like to add it disappeared within a few weeks. Then it may have shifted actually. It may have shifted. What are your thoughts on the Roche-Posay tinted sunscreen? Sure, that's fine. I don't mind that. Just use sunblock all the time. Body O'Day is saying, hi Doc, hi Body, good seeing you on. Lando is saying, if the first round of Accutane didn't work, would a second round work? Potentially it could help. I was on 3 times. Each time it did get better, but there were more side effects each time, honestly. Each time was a little bit worse. Even though my acne got a little bit better, I got more and more dryness all over my body. So you could consider doing the Accure laser. It's something to consider. It's working incredibly well for our patients, so it's something to consider. As long as we could just control your future acne without doing other side effects, I think it's something worth considering. let's see here. I know I've mentioned best products for PIH. So that's what I was talking about. You could do just over the counter. You could do azelaic acid 10%. You could get a prescription of azelaic acid 15%. That's a pretty good way of working out there. What do you think about plasma fibroblasts? I think it's terrible. I think it's terrible for most things. It can cause a lot of post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. Don't recommend it at all for the vast majority of people. Let's see here. What do you think about dapsone for acne? I love dapsone. I prescribe a ton of dapsone. So yes, I love dapsone. It works very, very well. Now you can get antibiotic resistance, so you may have to alternate with something like clindamycin potentially, but dapsone works really, really well. Doc, what was the most difficult topic to learn? Well, I think that procedures are difficult for the reason why I should say is because a lot of people don't really do procedures. People tend to do maybe just more like medications, things like that. But I do think that the procedures, like of course, like I believe it strongly, like lasers and doing subcision, TCA cross, those give you by far the best possible result more than like just topical creams. Nothing else comes like that. Would you ever share before and after for pictures and the treatments that you share? Have you gotten those same ones done? Yes. So I have on one of our videos, you can see some of like my scars and some of my acne. You can see some of those. So I'll show you that. I think we have some in office, but it was after I did a bunch of treatments already. You can see some of those as well. But yeah, I did for myself. I never did TCA cross. At some point, I really want to do TCA cross. I'll have someone that I trained do TCA cross on me. You'll meet her at some point, but she's currently still doing training. And so I'll have her do my TCA cross one day. And otherwise, there's not too many people I trust with that, to be honest with you. It's wild to me. There's people that, actually I had a patient today, unfortunate story, and he did TCA cross at home. And he did it years ago. He had severe widening of his scars. It became from ice pick scars to wide boxcar scars, and he has hypopigmentation. And it's really sad and really unfortunate because the rest of his face is really smooth, really clear. It's just these large areas from doing at-home TCA cross. He said he probably was about 80% or so. He got it online somewhere. So, I see this stuff. People tell me that they're going to do it, this and that. People said that they watch my videos and they try to do it. And it's kind of wild to me, honestly. I'm sorry to say, but it really is, because like I myself would never do it on myself, and I do this all day, multiple times a day. There's probably nobody in the world who does as much TCA cross as me, really. I do so much every single day, and I still wouldn't do it on myself. And so that's just trying to tell you, be really, really excessively careful with this. And we don't charge that much for it, so consider going to someone like me, because it's like, I'll do it properly and I'll make sure it's really safe for you. The future sessions, when you do it, like after a combination session, future sessions are up to 55% off. So just, do that. So we'll help you out. Do TCA cross though. It's really, really important for ice pick scars with someone like myself. Don't do it at home. So just hopefully that'll make a little bit more sense to you as you kind of see how careful I am. Watch my videos. I'm very, very careful with it. Ariel saying, what are we talking about? We're talking about acne. We're talking about scars. We're talking about pigmentation. We're talking about anti-aging. We're talking about just life in general, about how to excel and become the best possible version of yourself. Because sometimes things like this hold people back, and I want people just to feel like the way that they view themselves in their mind, the way that they think of themselves, the way they dream about themselves. That's what I want them to be. I really do. I want people to just, like, everybody in the world, my religion is for people to reach their full potential. That's like my mission in life. That's my goal in life, really. And it's like, that's what I want. I want everybody to be able to reach their full potential. And so it's like, I find sometimes that certain things really hold people back. And in some cases it's scars, some other times it's weight, some other times it's other, pigmentation, and whatever these things are, it's like, I want people to feel really, really good and positive about themselves. And so that no longer holds them back, and they can then work on the other things that potentially are holding them back. And like, this stuff doesn't bother them as much anymore. That's the goal. And so, like I said, it's like, that's the mission. That's why I do this stuff. That's why I go on here and talk to you guys. Definitely feel held back. Love is saying, I definitely feel held back because of my scars. Then that's unfortunate, right? Like, it's just like, imagine that, like something that happened to you when, I'm not sure if you have acne scars, but let's say it's acne scars. It happened to you when you're 16 years old. Let's say it's a traumatic scar. Everything's going well. One of my patients, she's somebody who's on camera a lot. Everything, she has a perfect face. Went and smashed her face into a piece of glass, and then it shattered over on her forehead, and she was so self-conscious. I showed you guys that result before, and it was like, so depressing for her, because blaming herself and this and that for the fact that happened. And it's like, man, it's like, not only do you suffer from the injury, then you suffer from like the fear of the scar, then you see the scar, and now it's like, man, you feel like you're never going to get your face again. But it does get better. Maybe it's not going to be quite 100%. You have to kind of accept that part, and it's hard to accept. It's really, really hard to accept it, but you accept that at some point. And then it's like, okay, this is, I'm going to be able to look at myself without seeing the scars, and that's going to be amazing. I want to have it so that other people don't see the scars, and I don't feel their eyes drifting down to my scars, and it's going to feel really good, and you're going to feel so much better and more comfortable with yourself, and now you can excel in other parts of your life, and you could be better with everything. That's going to be really cool. And wouldn't that just be amazing if we like help solve that for people? So find something like that. Look at your own world and like see kind of what things are you going to be able to do to optimize other people's lives. And first, obviously, take care of your own self. You have to be able to take care of yourself and improve your own self and get there at a position where you could feel really good about people and tell people that. But do that. And once you get there, it's like, that's gonna be amazing when you could now help out other people. And like all these follow-ups I had I think I was 11 follow-ups today. I don't know if anybody followed up with me today, but that's on here right now. But they're like so happy, so excited already, just 1 month out. And it's exciting. It's really, really like amazing seeing people that like when I first started talking to them, they were like sometimes like, like it's just like sad. And like there's like this like burden on them. And now it's like they just feel like elated that like they're so much better at this point. Let's get there. We could get there. We could achieve that. Like it's reproducible. We're able to do this. Just follow the instructions, follow along. We'll be able to get there. So it's like, let's just do this. Let's get there and keep on working on it, keep on helping with you. Double is saying, do you think injecting Rejuven can treat acne scars instead of Bellafold? It's a good concept. So far, I've heard it's not lasting as long, but I haven't played around with myself. I'll try it at some point when I'm allowed to, and then I'll see. I'll let you know. If it does, I will be happy if it does, because I always want different options there. Love is saying, I do have acne scars, and thank you for sharing your experience and story. Yes, I hope it no longer holds you back, Lovely. I really do. Most creators saying, can these scars improve 90% or more? I'm not sure if it could. I don't know. It depends on everyone's college response. By the way, what you guys looking at this, kind of tell me, what do you think the percentage is right now? Everybody tell me. Every single patient always asks me, not everybody, a lot of people who go on these lives don't ask me anymore, but a lot of people ask me, what's the percentage? So look at this result. This is a single combination result. What is the percentage in this case that you see the improvement there? I know it's not done. I know it's. I'm okay. I just want to know what everybody's thoughts are, just to see the variance of people's hair, and don't let other people's comments affect what it is. It's kind of just think of what it is, and so we can see what it is. I want to see what people say with this. Someone's asking while we're waiting for that. Someone's asking, have I ever had a hematoma on a patient when doing the treatment? Not with these, actually. I do a lot of numbing solution. I do a lot with lidocaine and epinephrine. So I actually don't get hematomas with this. So it's not something that I've run into with a problem with this per se. Localized spots, occasionally, I could say that there was an issue where I had a little bit of a small little hematoma at one time, a small little pocket. It resolved really, really nicely with a little bit of compression, no big deal. But not when I do actually like subcision or bigger cases like this. I do so much volume in there. So it's in terms of numbing solution, epinephrine really helps with that. And then I do compression afterwards. So don't really run into that problem. Okay, so we're seeing different variants right here. So everybody, you can look at it's people are saying 25, some people are saying up to 60%. And okay, that's good to know. So that's the thing. When people say, what's the percentage that you're going to see improvement? The truth of the matter is, I don't know, because I say it's just less visible to people. Is this less visible? Yes. His scars are much less visible. We're going to be able to get to better and better results. We'll keep on working on it. But I think just don't get hung up on these percentages because it's so arbitrary. Like the way, like some people are saying 25, some people are saying 60%. It's tough to say. I don't know. And for myself, I'm not sure what that percentage is. I don't know how we're going to be able to do that. And some people that are saying 25%, 20%. So it could be that that's good for you. Like that's like, if you think this is a good result, hopefully you do, then great, then that makes sense. But if you think that, this is something that isn't enough for you, that's also fine. Because I want this to be like open. I want this to be clear about what we could try to achieve and how well we could get the skin. I thought that when I was going through my own experience, I thought that nobody had good photos. To this day, I don't think people really have great photos for whatever weird reason. People just don't have good photos out there. And it's like, what can I say? There's not many great photos, and a lot of times it's like selfies, and it's like it's really like the wrong angle. It's like sometimes it looks almost like a filter's on there, a questionable type of thing sometimes. And so I wanted, like, one of the things I wanted to do was just standardize photos, like it's really clear for people, so you guys get this expectation, understanding. For like patient like this, it's amazing for him. It's super amazing. He's really ecstatic, very, very happy with that. And I want you to kind of understand that when you're going through this process. Like, think about, are you going to be like really happy with something like this? Because it's possible. For ice pick scars, it's very, very slow, very slow. Can I get better and better results? Yes, I know I can get better and better results with them. This is a single time, one time. Everybody else will tell you do 6 times, you'll get a result like this. Everybody else. You go to anybody. One of my patients, she went to one of the top dermatologists in the East Coast, and he said that, doing Fractional laser 6 times and things like that. And it's like, still would not get these results. You still would not get these results. I'm telling you that right now. So that should tell you something, that like all these other things out there, multiple sessions, and they still don't get to this point. So here we are after a single session, we're able to get there. That's, I think amazing to me. But you could take a look and see what if it makes sense for you. That's what I want you to know. That's why I want this like as open as possible. That's why I showed you guys the patient today, who you could see his whole progress. You could see his whole treatment process about what had happened when he first did the consultation and what happened after the consultation when we did the treatment, how his scars, we wrapped them all up. And then you could see just like the recovery process overall. I want you to see that and just really understand this and see that it's not that daunting. It's not that scary. It really is doable. You could do this, but you have to understand, it's 6 months out, you're still going to see some scars. You're still going to see them. You're still going to see all that. Don't tell me you don't see results after a month, because your collagen response hasn't happened yet. You are going to still see scars. One of my patients today, she forgot what she looked like originally. I showed her original photo, and she's like, "Yeah, I guess I look at it every day. I didn't realize that it's significantly improved." It's significantly improved even 1 month out. Yes, you still can see some deep scars. It's true. Ice pick scars, you still see those. It's only 1 month out. Your collagen response hasn't even happened yet. It's going to take 3-6 months, a year, really. I did one laser session back in February, and I still felt that my skin started getting better in July of this year. So that should tell you just like that progress report. And everybody universally says that. Everybody says that actually it does feel a lot better now at this point. Like a year, 2 years later, 3 years later, sometimes I see my patients and it's like, yeah, it does look really nice. It still feels and looks even better. Just interesting enough, like there's things that we're doing, because especially if we're putting something like collagen stimulating product like Bellaful, for example, it's going to continue to support the scars. Really nice. Your skin quality is going to look better than when you started sometimes. It's really cool. That's amazing, right? That you, in some ways, because if you had scars, what if, think about this, it's like the ultimate revenge. You had terrible skin maybe in high school or in college, something happened, and now you end up having better skin at the end, and better skin than everybody else. That's pretty cool. I wouldn't say revenge, because you should think positively than everybody, than that. But I'm just saying, like for your own sake. I'm not saying like to judge people. Don't take it that wrong way. But I mean, like just in your own mind, it must feel like really nice to be able to look it back and think to yourself that like, you tell your teenage self that like, hey, I ultimately got better skin, and we were able to move past all that, and we're here, and look at where we are. Miriam's asking, what was the acne diet book you were referring to before? So it is called the Acne Diet Book. Actually, I do think that some of the things, I don't know if there's a new edition, but the one I saw is potentially a little bit outdated. So something I'm actually working on with collecting the patients that I've been working with. We're collecting all the information that we have, and we'll try to put something out there for people just to say what things are triggering for acne, what things are potentially going to help with your scars too, potentially. HJ's saying 55 to 65%. Everyone's different for what they think. Yeah. Appreciate you, Yellow. Appreciate you. Yeah. Yellow saying my injections are top tier. I appreciate that a lot, because I really pride myself on being really accurate, really precise with everything I do. And when it comes to filler, when it comes to volume, things like that, I really am very meticulous in making sure that I go exactly what I need to do. So it really makes, like, I like hearing that, like people saying that I'm very precise with things, because I try to be very, very precise every single time I'm doing this. That's what I'm focused on. I try to knock this out every single time. So it's fun. I enjoy doing that. I like that. I love that. Where can we find your book? We're going to do it as an ebook. It's going to be on our website. You'll be able to download it. We'll just be like accessible for people. You'll just be able to get it. So we're going to do that. Actually, it's going to be the acne diet. I'm actually working on it with a whole bunch of, going through. You guys, if you were my patients, you may have known I was asking you guys what things you may have eaten, or anything like that. I've been saying, like, what were you drinking, what in terms of water, stuff like that. I'm trying to put all these things down. User is saying that they feel me being ignored. I'm just seeing your message for the first time, user. Sorry, I saw a bunch of different questions here, user. So why don't you repeat your question? I actually went overboard tonight, so I'll answer your question at the end right now. So user, if you ask me a question right now in the next few seconds, I'll be able to answer you again. Hopefully it's something that's a good question though. Let's see. The pressure's on, user. What's the question? It's just user. That's all the name is, actually. It just says user. But here's somebody saying, no dairy, especially milk, no fish oil, stop acne. Absolutely, I do believe in that too. Do not cut back on your dairy. The dairy industry has been terrible for a lot of different things, for the environment, for a lot of stuff. And really, it's been disastrous for our skin. So if nothing else, stop doing it because it's bad for your skin. I'm waiting for users' response. Users thought I was ignoring, and I'm here waiting for you, user. I'm waiting for your question. But, okay, thoughts. Someone's asking, thoughts on Renuva for volume loss. It's very pricey for what it is. It's not going to last as long as something like Beliful, but it is good for volume. So I don't think it's a bad idea, but especially if you don't have much fat. But there's other options too. Beliful works really well. It just depends. User, I guess I'm not sure if you jumped off or not, but I'll hit you tomorrow, I guess. I must have missed your questions there. I tried to get everybody's question. I think I got pretty much everybody's on multiple different platforms there too, so I think I got there. And then users are saying, I asked the question, did you see it? Just repeat the question, please. But either way, all right, guys. I'll see you in person, Most Creative. Hopefully I'll see you really soon. And if I missed you guys, I'm on here again tomorrow, so hopefully I'll help you out. I try to get everybody, but there's a lot of people, a lot of different things. And so feel free to